Welcome back to Bible and Blues. It is Friday night, and this is where I find myself. It's a little late. It's after 10 o'clock at night, which for me, that's late. But I need to get this done. This is an important thing for me. For somebody else out there might find some benefit from it. And so because of that, we will continue on, even though I might have to cut out a bunch of yawns. So, without further ado, we are now up to John chapter 15. And we're going to go read through this. I haven't read it yet. And this is one of the reasons why it's so important I do this right now, because I haven't read my Bible today at all. So, I am here with this. And just so you know, I put a comment up on and it was just basically stating that I had stuff going on. And I was going to try to catch a little of the Aurora Borealis. Unfortunately, I think we have too many too many lights, city lights, between us and heading north. So we didn't I wasn't actually able to see anything this time. Last time we had that in this area, I was able to catch a little bit. Some other people got some really cool stuff. I saw it, of course, you saw it on Facebook. That's where you post these things, right? But I still had a good time, and still got my drone up in the air, which was cool. And that's always good. There you go. So without further ado, John chapter 15. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You're already clean because of the word that I've spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. That's something very important here. If you're not bearing fruit with your faith, and how do you do that? You do that by being forward with it, being bold with your faith. Talking to other people about it is one thing. Me doing this is a way of doing that, to have a little bit of outreach and have some effective conversations with people is one of the ways it bears fruit. But also, we also have to remember what is the fruit of the Spirit, and so we bear the fruit of the Spirit, and that is an outward showing also of our faith. I am the vine; you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you will bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. If you are not hooked up to the vine, if you are not in the Word, if you are not listening to the Spirit, you are not connected to the vine. For much of my life, I haven't been. Even as a professed Christian at times, I haven't. I've only had a tenuous connection to the vine. And so my reading the Bible regularly like this is one of the ways of reconnecting with the vine and getting that stronger connection with Jesus. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this, so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command: love each other. Often, I see this quite a bit in here. So that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is something to be put to the test. in the sense that if you are following the commands of the Spirit and of Jesus and of the Father, what you will be asking for is lined up with what God wants. So when you are asking for things, you're not asking for frivolous things. You're not asking for monetary gain in life. Not saying there's a problem with that. I'd like to have more monetary gain myself, just like virtually anybody else. But does that, I ask myself before I go to God about it, does that align with what God wants out of me in this world? I only ask for that which I feel is called by the Spirit. Now, I do ask for things on a regular basis, and if I ask for healing, I do ask for help with understanding things. I ask for security in my job, and some things I've received, and some things come about more the hard way. So this is a difficult one for me to a certain extent, because we do ask for things that we don't receive. Sometimes God says no, and yet right here we're told that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. So I'd ask for people to help me understand that. I think I'm kind of on the right path where I say if it's aligned with God, you will get it. If you're aligned with God, what you ask for will be received. So maybe I'm not fully aligned with God too. I mean, that might be a part of it, and it's something we all strive for and work with. The world hates the disciples. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember that I told you a servant is not greater than his master. That was during the foot washing. If they persecute me, they will persecute you also. If they obeyed my teaching, they will obey yours also. So here is an alignment issue right here. If they persecuted me, if they persecuted Jesus, they're going to persecute you too. So don't expect just because you become a Christian and start following that everybody is going to be like all happy about it. The ones who would persecute Jesus in the world today would persecute you. The ones who would not believe and obey then would not do it for you. But the ones who will see that in you, and so that you can see that alignment happening again. They will treat you this way because of my name, for they do not know the one who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father as well. If I had not done among them the works no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. As it is, they have seen, and yet they have hated both me and my Father. But this is to fulfill what is written in the law. They hated me without reason. When the Advocate comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth who goes out from the Father, he will testify about me, and you also must testify. For you have been with me from the beginning. Here is reading of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So many good, important things, and things that I struggle with, because it does say in here, so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. I mean, how many have unanswered prayers? How many have prayed for healing for somebody, or a job, not to lose your job, or to get a job, and it hasn't come through? Some friends of mine used to say, God only has 3 answers. He has a yes, he has a no, and he has a not yet. I have something better in mind for you. And again, this is where you start to ask questions of, well, could you give me a better answer of what it is you have in mind for me? I'm just kind of struggling here, I worry about, like I said, I've said it before, I'm 54 years old. I struggle with security about my job, because if I have to find another job, it's going to be tough for me. And so I worry about security of my job. But does that mean I'm not trusting in God? because I worry about this? Am I not trusting in God to take care of me if something were to happen, because God has a plan outside of that? And so I'm going to, if I lose my job, will I stress and struggle and bemoan my situation, or will I trust in God? This is difficult for me. This is a difficult thing for me because I do enjoy my job, just so you know. I mean, my job is one that I actually enjoy doing, and I think I'm well suited for it. But I always say, come on, people get downsized all the time, and so, so I think in those terms, obviously that's a stressor of mine. I talk about it quite a bit. And so, then there's health, the health of my wife. She is a stroke victim. She's in a wheelchair, and I ask for healing for her routinely. And I don't see a change. But is that because is that because I'm not aligned with God? Because I often do say, what she has seen and what's happened to her has been for other people to see and be blessed by, because they see her in a different way. Okay. And they see our relationship and our marriage in a different manner because of what they see with her. So I do ask those questions. Am I being told no on this? Because am I asking for selfish reasons and not for godly reasons? Is that why I'm being told no? Because there is no doubt. There is a selfish aspect there. So am I aligning myself with God? So this reading the Bible is to help me work through these things, and to because I struggle with this, and so it's a difficult challenge that I have. And if you pray for me for that, that'd be wonderful. I really would appreciate it. But without further ado, I'm just going to say, hey, this is a good reading. I'm looking forward to. There's only 2 chapters left, I believe. John has 17 chapters, I believe, and so they only have 2 more of these to do with John, the book of John. What should I do next? What book should I do next? I'm going to be praying about that. And if you have something that you would like to hear in my silky, sultry tones, by all means, just let me know. Appreciate it. And have a great day. Have a great Friday night, Saturday morning, whatever you happen to watch this, wherever you may be. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.